Behind us is a flamenco red 2019 BMW X4 M40i.
It's flamenco.
Yes, I don't really think of flamenco when I think of this, but welcome to another Twin Cam. Jan with you.
And Eric.
Behind us is a flamenco red 2019 BMW X4 M40i. I would say that because BMW for the last few years, along with Mercedes, has been endeavoring to make stylish coupe SUVs, I think that's what they call these, that perhaps the flamenco reference might work as something avant-garde. I don't know.
Don't they call it like a coupe activity vehicle?
They do. Yes, they do. And I think we can start off by saying that, well, there are some good points about the X4. Looks to me, not one of them.
Now, price might not be quite either. Obviously, it competes in the premium SUV segment with things like the Porsche Macan, and the Land Rover Velar, and vehicles
Alfa Romeo,
like
Stelvio.
Yeah, stuff like that. I believe the sticker on this one is $69,170, and the base price is around $62.
And of course it also competes with the Mercedes that looks this way, the CL something. We'll have to remember what that is and put that in. Well, up front in the X4 M40i, this is the sport version. There's also an X30. This one features a 3-liter inline 6-cylinder with 2 big turbochargers on it.
And power?
355 horsepower, 365 pound-feet of torque.
I believe they say that's good. The manufacturer says that's good for a 0 to 60 run of
4.6 seconds.
4.6 seconds. Now, you actually drove the car on the launch down in North Carolina, and you were at the BMW Spartanburg plant there and had a chance to take it around the track. You wouldn't think by looking at it that it would be a capable track vehicle, but I suppose it is BMW and they're supposed to do that, so how was it?
Well, it was a good opportunity because you also drove them in the mountains of northern South Carolina and southern North Carolina, which could be a bit confusing.
It must have been lovely.
It was lovely. No, actually it was lovely, but to take them on the test track there at Spartanburg was good. I was actually not terrifically impressed with the handling beyond what you would normally expect from a performance SUV of the
on-road.
Right, on-road of the X4 M40i. But if you put it on a track and you put it into Sport Plus mode, you do realize that the thing has grip. Yeah, the wheels and tires are large enough to give you a lot of grip. That combined with the all-wheel drive system, if I can say that correctly.
All-wheel drive?
Or that. Of the X4 M40i, it really does impart a good bit of grip. You have 245, 45, 20s up front.
275, 40 20s in the rear.
And it is pretty amazing, like so many vehicles, you don't have a chance on the road to really hustle them to the point that you can actually feel what they give you in return. So many cars today, the chassis are so stiff and they're so good, but they isolate you to the point where unless you're going near 10 tenths, you can't really tell.
Yeah.
That's why going on track at Spartanburg was enlightening. The car does shrink a bit, and you can push it hard. The grip is there, the acceleration is there, even the braking is there. For a 4,350 or 60 pound vehicle, it's pretty amazing. I have to say I was impressed.
And of course, this one being as fully loaded as it is, it has BMW's executive package with various interior appointments, the premium package with some of the trim like the 20-inch wheels, and the M Sport package with M Sport brakes.
Well, we've talked about it on track. How do you think that all works on the road?
On the road, I have to say, I mean, it's very competent, yes, but it feels a little ponderous. The controls are heavy. The steering is actually heavier than it needs to be.
Well, particularly in comfort mode.
Yeah, without any feel, and even the brakes and the whole thing, just it feels like 4,300 pounds.
Yeah, comfort mode is good. It is makes it driving on the street very easy, but it certainly doesn't encourage you to drive in any spirited manner. Sport's a little bit better for that. Sport Plus, again, maybe a bridge too far for the street because it's just unnecessary. Although I will say this, in any of the modes, the ride never becomes so harsh that it would beat you up.
No. Let's talk about what sort of a thing it is to ride in.
The front seats, I would say, are pretty darn good. They'll hold you in nice and comfortably. For me, they're good.
Yeah,
they're adjustable like crazy.
I'd give them a 7 out of 10, maybe.
7.5, I think. But the real difficulty comes when you get into the back seats, which aren't very comfortable. And because of this sloping roofline, well, you have to duck your head when you get in, even if you're not that tall.
Yeah. You're going to get in, and I'm 5'10", and I have to go like that.
Yeah, so for the sake of style, BMW has sacrificed quite a bit of interior room. I believe with the seats up, it's 19 cubic feet of volume, which is 10 less than the BMW X3, which is basically the same chassis. It's just a box rather than this coupe styling.
Which gives rise to the question, what is your motivation for buying this? Well, it has to be pretty much a style decision because practicality, that's pretty much gone. And you can get the performance in other of the BMW X vehicles. So again, you're pretty much buying this because you like the way it looks, probably an empty nester or somebody with maybe one kid rather than a bunch.
Yeah, you would think you might want to just take the seats, the rear seats, and fold them down and have your two adults drive in comfort up front.
Yeah, that'd actually be a decent way to operate it with just the rear seats down and the two fronts, and you drive it like a coupe. So a little bit about the controls and the interior. It's got BMW's iDrive system, very much the same as it is in other BMWs in the lineup. It's not great, but it's a lot better than it used to be. This one has the gesture control as well.
Which is a bit comedic. I mean, other people have said it, but I experienced it myself. If you're driving along and you tend to talk a lot with your hands, particularly like he does, well, you can have the volume go up and down on the radio, or you can have the nav system change its settings. It's really, I think we both find it gimmicky.
I really don't think it's anything you need. The system is compatible with Apple CarPlay for those of you who care about that.
Not me.
Can't say that I really do. While we're on the subject of the interior and how the controls work and how functioning inside the car works, well, we got to point out one thing, and that's visibility.
No, you can't see very much out of this. I would say that the...
particularly straight to the rear.
Yeah, the rear window is really what you might term a backlight, a term that used to be used with convertibles. It's almost like that, and your rear view and your rear three-quarter are kind of compromised in this thing, so you have to rely more on the backup cameras when you're backing up, and that's just not a good solution for any car. I don't care what it is, I'd much rather have visibility and be able to see out of the car than to have to rely on some stupid electronics.
Nobody's going to listen to you, but yes, I feel the same way. And also, as with many of these things, big A-pillars make it a little tough to see through the corner, and even that B-pillar offers a significant blind spot as well. But you just have to work around those things if you buy it. And so, conclusion time, what do you think of the M40i?
I'm impressed with its performance as you approach the limit.
Given what it is.
Given what it is.
4,300 plus pounds and sits relatively high off the ground.
Yeah, the fuel mileage isn't too bad. They say 23 combined, and I'd say that's about right. The acceleration as well at 4.6 0 to 60, it feels that way. But for me, yeah, too expensive, and you know, like so many people, the look is for you or it isn't, and it's just not for me.
Yeah, it seems that this is designed for a very specific set of people. Maybe those people are not as much in evidence here in America as other parts of the world, because you do give up functionality when you opt for this coupe body style.
You can get much of the same thing with the performance version of the X3 or the X5, and so if you want that functionality along with this kind of performance in an SUV, I'd suggest that would be the way you go. Well, that's what we think on Twin Cam. I'm Jan.
I'm Eric.
Till next time.